Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Today I am introducing a video series we're putting out for you guys on how to butcher and process chickens. It's going to be a 3-video series with a bonus video on how to skin chickens because we've been doing this for about 10 years. We've done everything from Cornish cross to heritage breeds to Red Rangers and all the things. But when we first got started, there wasn't a lot of real specific information about processing chickens. There were plenty of videos and people talking about it and stuff, but when they'd say, do this thing, I didn't know what the thing was in their hands that they were even using, and I didn't have the words to Google it. So we're trying to be super specific for you guys so that you can have the information that I was longing for back then. So in this first video, we're gonna get super specific on our setup. Now, there's plenty of different ways you can do this thing, but we're gonna talk about where we've settled for home butchering at this season of our life. I'm gonna get into all the parts and pieces and the workflow so that you can see how it works best for us. If you've seen any of our previous chicken videos, then you know that we raise our chickens on pasture. Now, we don't process in pasture, we process at the house. So the first step is gonna be getting our chickens to the processing area. Our boys help us load them in crates to do that, so it's a very chill process for the birds. So thanks to my boys, we have our chickens in their crates, and you want to make sure that yours are as close as possible to where you're going to actually do the killing so that the transport doesn't stress them out. We use a propane-based scalding station, so a large pot, this one's 5 gallons, our propane burner and our full propane tank. Make sure you get it filled beforehand, but you can use anything really, a grill, you can use an electric scalder, whatever you happen to have. We do happen to have an actual plucker, and we have a review for this plucker on YouTube, which we'll link. But we have used this, we've used a homemade plucker, we've plucked by hand, we have skinned the birds. It all works. You just have to find what's going to work for you. Then you're going to need a good clear station for eviscerating and cutting up your birds. You're going to want to have access to water or a hose, nice sharp knife, and some containers. Immediately after you eviscerate, you're going to want to get them into the chiller. So we have coolers here with ice ready to go. So in addition to setting up your stations, either the night before or very early on the morning of processing day, there's a couple little bits and bobs that you have to think through. So one of those is water. You're going to want at least one hose that has a one-handed sprayer of sorts, because you're going to need that for lots of things. For spraying at the dispatching station, for the plucking, for the eviscerating. Multiple hoses is better, but if you've got one will do. The other thing you're going to want to think through is blades and or knives. I like to use a industrial blade for the dispatching because I want to make sure it's sharp and I don't trust my knife sharpening. So I made sure to buy one of those. I made sure that my eviscerating knives were nice and sharp. I did that already. You're going to want to make sure you have ice, so you might have to do a run to the store very early in the morning or the night before. Also, the morning of, you're going to want to heat up your water. Propane is more expensive than just heating it on the stove. So what I did this morning was I had a big 8-quart pot of water get roaring hot and then poured it into my pot and filled it up with the hose water. So that helps to kind of accelerate things since I don't have a thermostat controlled electric scalder. The other things you want to think through is what are you going to wear, because they're going to get gross. So you want to make sure you have something like an apron or some really heavy duty overalls, something like that. Also, people management. Are there going to be more people here? Do you have jobs for them? Do you have a plan for them? People are helpful unless they're in the way, so try and figure that out ahead of time. Some other extra things are shade and bug management. You don't want bug spray around your food, but a fan can be really helpful. So flies and yellow jackets and stuff don't like moving air. So we have a nice industrial grade fan that will blow while we're doing the eviscerations. And if you had one of those pop-ups, that would be really great too. I only want my animals to have one bad day. I don't want to mess this up. I want them to be out very quickly. So I actually buy one of these snap blade utility knives when we do processing. They're like $2, and they extend long, which is the kind of blade that I like for doing the killings. That's a matter of preference, as opposed to a box cutter, which just has a little short blade. So, but I know this is sharp. I know that it's going to get the job done. I don't have to worry about my knife sharpening ability. I heated water on the stove, put it in here, and then added hose water to it, and now I've got it staying at temperature-ish. Temperature being 145 to 150 degrees. I have a thermometer in here to keep an eye on that. And we're just gonna let it kind of hang there while we're waiting on the birds. This is our plucking station. Once our birds have been scalded, we're gonna run them through our plucker. This is by far our favorite plucker that we have used so far. We've had homemade ones and done it by hand, and those are all kind of cumbersome. This is the Kitchener, which we did a review on, and I'll leave a link in the description. But it is electric, so you need some sort of power cord to it. And then you also need some water while it's running for lubrication. And if you want to come in and look down into the drum, you can see how it works. This bottom bit here will spin, and it will rub the bird up against these fingers, and it will just rub off the feathers. The one thing that I really love about this plucker specifically is it has a spout that the feathers come out of. So down here is an actual spout, and we can have the feathers go directly into a bucket. They're not just shooting out the bottom like happens with some of them. That makes it really easy. Again, with this bucket, I have one with holes in the bottom of it because there is going to be water, and I don't want a big mess of feathers and water because that's gross. So I want the water to drain and just catch the feathers. After we have dispatched our birds, scalded them, and plucked them, then we're going to eviscerate them. That basically means take the insides out, the stuff that we don't want in our roast chicken. So we're going to need some sort of work surface. All I have here is just a folding table that I have sanitized really well. I know it doesn't look it, but I promise you it's clean. You're going to need a blade. Again, I prefer a long blade. This is a semi-flexible fillet knife. Victorinox is good. This is a Jarrow knife, whatever's comfortable for you. This one I have sharpened myself, and it's fairly sharp, so do be careful. You're also going to need some sort of water source, like a garden hose, again with a one-handed sprayer. And then you're going to need some sort of catchment device for the stuff you don't want. So I just use a 5-gallon bucket, but I use one with holes in the bottom because as I'm spraying, as I'm cleaning, as I'm moving the offal out, I don't want a bunch of water in here because that's gross. So I want that to be able to drain out and just end up with the offal that I can then bury or put in the compost or whatever you want to do with that. Additionally, you're going to need to do something with the stuff you want to keep. So I have some bowls here for things like hearts and livers and gizzards and feet and heads, all the little bits that aren't exactly meat, but that we want to keep. So I will accumulate them here and then get them bagged up and into the fridge as we go. For the actual birds, I have coolers here that are full of ice, and immediately once we're done, we will just plunge them into the ice bath because you want to get them chilled as quickly as possible to decrease the chance of any yucky stuff growing. If you're ready to watch video 2, then go ahead and click here now.